Hello, my Biblio darlings, and welcome. It's so wonderful to see you. Today, the story that we're going to be reading is called Little Miss Helpful. But before we do that, we're going to do some exercises that are going to calm our bodies. So the first exercise we're going to do is a deep breathing exercise. And when you're ready, inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now hold the breath for And now exhale out through your mouth. Good job. The whole purpose of doing a deep breathing exercise is to remind our bodies that we are safe right here in the moment. And another way that we can remind our bodies that we are safe is by laughing at a really funny, silly joke. So I'm going to tell you 3 silly, funny jokes. Ready? They're all knock-knock jokes, and I've not heard these before. Here's the first one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Amelia. Amelia who? Amelia package. Who's it for? Amelia package. Who's it for? Amelia package. I don't get that one, so let's go on to the next one. Okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? Buddha. Buddha who? Put a slice of cheese on that sandwich. Instead of put a slice of cheese on that sandwich, put a slice of cheese on that sandwich. Okay, here's the next one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cauliflower. Cauliflower who? Cauliflower by any other name, and it still smells as sweet. Oh, cauliflower by any other name. Okay. Well, I'm hoping you found that funny. So the whole purpose of doing that deep breathing exercise and hearing the jokes is to remind your body that you are safe right now in this moment. And it's so wonderful to see you again. And thank you for bringing your friends, if you've brought friends with you today. And another way of getting comfortable and safe is to have a person who's calm read a story to you. And I'm going to do just that. So I'm going to read Little Miss Helpful. And on the cover, I see a cute little Miss Helpful, and she has her hair parted down the side, like one side and then the other. Looks like she has like a little bun on one side and on the other. And she's smiling, big smile on her face. She has a hand on each side to help. She has white and green shoes on. And off to the side is a thought bubble with the word help. So let's see what this story's about. Little Miss Helpful was one of those people who loves to help other people, but who ends up helping nobody. Do you know what I mean? I mean, for instance, like the time when one of Mr. Tall's shoelaces came undone. So I see in this picture that there's Mr. Tall, who's really tall. He's blue and he's really tall. And he's got red shoes and shoelaces which are undone. And it looks like there's a worm that's in front of Mr. Tall. He's looking at the shoelace. There's a house in the background, and there's a sun and clouds. And there's Little Miss Helpful standing by Mr. Tall. It looks like she's really excited. Now, if you're as tall as Mr. Tall, tying your shoelaces isn't the easiest thing in the world, as you can imagine. Probably like a giraffe if a giraffe wore shoes. That was my comment, not the story's. Let me help, cried Little Miss Helpful, rushing up to him. Oh, that's why it looks like she's so excited, and she's looking up. And she just wants to help Mr. Tall with his shoelace. Oh, then somehow she managed to tie Mr. Tall's shoelaces together. Oh no! What do you think happens if a person ties both shoelaces together? What's going to happen? That's what happened, and he fell over. And if you're as tall as Mr. Tall, falling over hurts. Bang! Ouch! He said, rubbing his head. Oh, poor Mr. Tall. And here in this picture, you have Little Miss Helpful. She's looking up. She's doing like this, like, You have Mr. Tall. He's got both of his arms out. And it looks like he's falling down in the picture. Oh. Well, this time I'm going to describe the picture first. It is Mr. Tall on the ground. Looks like both feet are together and his knees are bent. Looks like there's a white bandage, like an X on his mouth. And it looks like Little Miss Helpful is looking at Mr. Tall and doing this. So here's what Little Miss Helpful had to say. "Let me help," cried Little Miss Helpful, and rushed off to get some bandages. And rushed back and stuck them on Mr. Tall. Over his mouth. He said. He was trying to say, take them off, so to be like, But that's rather difficult to do with bandages stuck over your mouth. Poor Mr. Tall. The next picture looks like Mr. Tall is screaming, like, ow! So Little Miss Helpful looked at him with concern. "Let me help," she cried, and ripped the bandages off his mouth. Ooh, that would hurt. "Ow!" he cried. "That hurt." "Would you like me to get some cream for your sore mouth?" she asked anxiously. "No," he groaned. "Go away." I don't think he wanted to get hurt anymore. Now, do you know what I mean about people like Little Miss Helpful who help nobody? Last year in April, I think it was, Mr. Happy woke up feeling ill. The doctor had to be called, and he came to Mr. Happy's house, which is on a hill by a lake. And I see a house with a red roof and yellow window shutters, a blue door, and it looks like there's mountains in behind, and a path leading to Mr. Happy's house. And there it looks like Mr. Happy is in bed, and he's got spots all over his face. And he's lying down in bed, and he's got light color sheets, and then an orange blanket with a sun design on it, I think. And he's got green wallpaper with white flowers and pink centers, and it looks like there's a man there with a blue striped suit and a red tie and a white shirt and a bit of white hair in the background. It looks like there's a green and white mat in front of his bed to the other side of the doctor. Here's what the doctor says. "Oh dear," said the doctor when he saw Mr. Happy. "Measles." Mr. Happy's face fell. "Now you're to stay tucked nice and warm in bed and get lots of rest and take this medicine 3 times a day," said the doctor, and left. Mr. Happy settled down to sleep. I know that when I've been sick, all I want to do is lie down in bed and get lots of sleep. That's all I want to do because my body gets really tired. That's like with a cold or a flu, or if you have, like a cold or a flu, or if you have a bad headache. Yeah. Okay. Now listen to this. He'd just fallen asleep when there was a loud knock at his front door. "Oh dear," groaned Mr. Happy, and staggered off to open it. You can guess who it was, can't you? "I've come to help," she cried. "Oh, Little Miss Helpful. Let's hope she helps." "But," protested Mr. Happy. "But nothing," cried Little Miss Helpful. Now off to bed with you while I do some things around here." She looked around. "This place needs a good cleaning," she said. Mr. Happy had just fallen asleep again when Little Miss Helpful poked her head around the bedroom door. "Have you got a scrub brush?" she asked. Poor Mr. Happy had to get up and show her where it was. Oh, I feel so bad for Mr. Happy because all he wants to do is sleep. And then he went back to bed to sleep. Well, I'm hoping he got some sleep, and I'm hoping that Miss Helpful was able to scrub and not wake Mr. Happy up. Well, little Miss Helpful stepped back to admire the kitchen floor she'd just scrubbed. Pardon me, and slipped on the soap and fell over heels and got her head stuck in the bucket, and because she couldn't see where she was going, walked into a shelf full of saucepans, which fell all over the floor with a terrible clatter. What do you think this is doing for Mr. Happy? Do you think he's able to sleep? And it gets worse. Listen to this. Because she couldn't see where she was going, little Miss Helpful stepped in one of the saucepans and got it stuck on her foot. Oh, look, there's a blue saucepan stuck on her foot. Oh, no. And because she had to hop, she fell over again against the refrigerator door, which flew open, and everything inside fell out, all over little Miss Helpful. Look at what I see. I see a jug of milk with blue stripes on it. The milk is pouring out, and it looks like coffee or chocolate being poured out. Looks like a brown sauce is spilling, and orange is flying. Looks like there's a yellow liquid out of a blue jar. Looks like there's sausages and bread and melon and potatoes and maybe butter. Lots of stuff is going everywhere. Oh, and eggs too. Oh, splattered eggs. Oh no. Oh, there's Mr. Happy. He's got his hand on his forehead and a shocked look on his face. Poor Mr. Happy awoke with a start from the terrible commotion. He groaned, got out of bed, went to the kitchen and opened the door. He couldn't believe his eyes. There, in the middle of a pile of broken eggs and a scrub brush and rolling saucepans and a lot of water and spilt milk and squashed butter and bent saucepan lids and a piece of soap, sat little Miss Helpful with a bucket on her head and a saucepan on her foot. "Help!" came a voice from inside the bucket. Oh, I feel so bad for Mr. Happy. All he wants to do is sleep, and little Miss Helpful has created so much work. So Mr. Happy grabbed the bucket and pulled as hard as he could, and pulled and pulled. Pop! Oh, there goes little Mr. Happy, and he's flying. Oh no, and he's sick as well. The bucket came off the top of little Miss Helpful's head like a cork out of a bottle. Mr. Happy shot backwards like a bullet from a gun. Crash! He went flying through the kitchen door. Oh no! He shot across the garden and straight through his hedge. He rolled down the hilly field behind his garden. Faster and faster, and splash! He ended up in the lake with the bucket in his hand, and a little figure with a saucepan on one foot came half running, half hopping out of Mr. Happy's house. Oh, I feel so bad for Mr. Happy. "Let me help," she cried. That's the end of that story. What did you think of it? Did you think that little Miss Helpful was helpful, or was she not helpful? I think she was not helpful. And how about Mr. Happy? All he wanted was just to sleep, and now not only is he sick, but he has to clean up after little Miss Helpful. Wasn't very helpful at all. Wow. I feel bad for Mr. Happy, and looks like little Miss Helpful Her heart was in the right place, but she caused so much grief for Mr. Happy. Well, that was the end of that story for today. So with that, let's do our deep breathing exercise and get our body nice and calm and centered and feeling safe. So when you're ready, inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold your breath for and now exhale out for 8. Doing those deep breathing exercises always makes me feel calmer. Let me read you 3 jokes before we say goodbye for today. Ready? More knock knock jokes. Knock knock. Who's there? Cousin. Cousin who? Cousin, instead of cake, you brought me pie. Cousin, instead of cake, you brought me pie. Let me go to another one because I'm not getting that one. Okay. Knock knock. Who's there? Anna. Anna who? Anna one want to split a banana? Oh, like anyone but Anna one? Okay. And here's another one. Knock knock. Who's there? Ashley. Ashley who? Ashley, never mind, I forgot. Oh, that too. Instead of actually, it's Ashley. Actually, never mind, I forgot. Oh, I like that. Alrighty, well with that, it's been wonderful, truly wonderful spending time with you. And I hope that you've enjoyed the story of Little Miss Helpful. And remember to come back again and again, because it would be really wonderful to have you come back and hear more stories. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.